Hi, I'm Kacey.
And I'm Gianni.
I never finished reading the Animorphs books as a kid, and I still haven't as an adult.
And I've never read them.
We can't tell you where we live.
But we can tell you that we want to revisit these books as adults and dive into what we would keep or change if we were to put it on TV.
Two friends, 50-something books. Welcome to morphinbuddies.
Sure. I mean, you can cream me anytime. Yeah, I love getting creamed, cream pied, cream... Yeah, they call me Big Cream in these streets. I don't know if you've heard that.
Mr. Gianni, which book are we talking about today?
I think it was called The Return, if I'm not mistaken.
Return. Book 48.
Yeah.
How did you feel about it?
Oh my god, right into it, huh? Not even a prelude,
yeah.
Huh?
No, we have no time for preludes today.
I feel conflicted. I finished it. I finished it about I don't know, like half an hour ago. So you're really getting my undigested thoughts on this episode, which I know is not the first time I've said that on these recordings.
Yes. But I mean, there have been times you finished a book 5 minutes before we started recording.
Yeah. This one in particular, though, I think there's a lot to digest. So you'll have to bear with me, dear viewers, if this is a little more uncoordinated than usual. You're pretty used to it by now, but okay, where to begin? Do I start with the things I liked or the things I didn't like? I think the things I didn't like because it's easier to talk about. Everyone that's... If you've listened to the show long enough, I think you know what I didn't like about the book. Let's start with the obvious. Crayak and the Drode. What are we doing?
Did I not call that the Drode was going to come back?
I mean, what the fuck? What are we talking about?
I can't believe it.
It's not that it's like, oh, how do I even put it? The benevolent, like, Satan, overseer of the universe is not like a bad idea. It's just... there needs to be some defined structure to what you can and can't do, and they just refuse at every turn. Anything that's even remotely interesting in terms of like a plot or narrative hook, like if Crayak or the Drode could do it, they could just do it. With no
agents of chaos, no boundaries, no limitations,
but like no concept of the implications of the questions that you're forcing the reader to then ask with the introduction of these things. And that's why it's so constantly infuriating every time we draw back to those characters, where I can objectively sit back and be like, I think that there's good ideas that are presented with the moral quandary that Rachel is placed in because of the circumstances contrived by Crayak and the Drode. I can recognize that those are interesting concepts, but I cannot allow myself to enjoy them because I'm constantly thinking, okay,
like,
if you
what are the limitations?
Yeah, if you can do that,
why can't you promise?
Why can't you do this every book at the or why can't you do this with any other character? Why can't you just go up to Joe Schmo off the street? Why can't you take David, give him morphing powers and an army, because he has an army, I guess, in this book is the implication.
Well, he doesn't. He lied about it.
Of two dudes who don't matter. But why can't you just take David, give him unlimited resources, and have him do your bidding? That's the guy who seems perfectly game for it.
But he doesn't want David. He wants
that's
Rachel.
Against the rules. Why though?
Because she's better than David.
I guess, but would she be better than David if you gave David all of the same abilities that you gave Rachel when she's fighting Visser 1? I mean, we're just getting right into sport, whatever.
Yeah.
You clicked on the episode. You know what you're getting in for.
I feel like he would prefer Rachel because I don't want to say she's more quote unquote stable, but I think she is easier to direct and less likely to complain, because in this book it's said that when she's given this power to be super ultra mega Rachel, she just has this rage that she needs to fulfill. And from my perspective, it seems like she's just going to follow that instinct, rather than if David had something like that, if Crayak asked him to do something, he'd be much more likely to complain or whine or not follow through all the way or just be like a general pain in the ass. Rachel at least has the focus and the drive to get shit done. So I think that's why he would choose Rachel over David.
I guess, but I mean, David's just one example. In we have a literal several universes worth of people that you can drive from. Why Rachel, and why only Rachel? It can be anybody at any time that you can give these powers and abilities to at any time in the history of whatever, as long as Crayak and the Drode exist, because they exist in some space out of time that's also inconsequential. The rules are so flippant and completely made up on the spot for whatever the plot is interested in exploring at that given moment, to the point where the science fiction aspect of it simply asks too many questions of the viewer for it to be interesting.
Yeah. I do think there need to be at least some ground rules of like why he wants to pick Rachel rather than anybody else, like really in the entire world. You know, I like, for me, if I were trying to fill in the gaps, my thought would be that if he quote unquote wants to be the bad guy, the agent of chaos or whatever, create chaos essentially, he wants to pit her against her friends, so they are busy fighting her rather than fighting the Yeerks. Therefore, the Yeerks have an easier time taking over. But that's never stated. It's never talked about. So we don't know for sure. And therein lies the problem. We need to understand, or at least have an idea as to why he's doing what he's doing.
Right. Which also brings up another point. The idea originally pitched is take out Jake, right? Mm-hmm. Interesting concept. You've already implanted within her these dream sequences where she's elaborately wanting to take power over the Animorphs or whatever. Which, kill Jake. Again, which I have a whole other issue with, you know, because of the kowtowing to Jake, which everybody knows. But we'll talk about that later. But that's an interesting idea to then immediately be like, oh, actually, you could just fight Visser 1 and then you guys can win the Yeerk War instead. Maybe that could be the way in. Is so it's so non-committal for this ultra big bad evil guy who's supposedly kind of instituted the Yeerks into Earth to cause all of this calamity in the first place and disrupt all of these things, that now not only do I not know any of your plans because they're all contrived and made up on the spot, dependent on the plot, what the plot wants out of them. But now I also am thinking, you don't even know your plans. And I don't take you seriously as a villain now either. So I just think the whole, I think what I've thought from the second that they were introduced is still applicable now, which is just that the Drode and Crayak and the Elemist muddy the waters too much and make it so that I can't actually enjoy anything on a page-to-page basis for what they present to the overarching premise. Because it's just too convoluted. It makes no sense. All it does is add questions, and the only explanation that they can conceivably give us seems to be, and this is paraphrasing a certain line in the book, oh, if only you knew what I knew. Okay.
Yeah, like
sure, then
right.
enlighten us.
Yeah, you could give us an idea. I mean,
it's
all you have to do is put in a couple of lines. If you want Rachel to fight Visser 1, you can say, look, I'm giving you what you've always been asking for. You want to destroy Visser 1? Here he is now. If I let you destroy him, you have to be on my side. Or, you know, like something like that, where he's just explaining, like, I'm giving you things that you want, and I can do that at any point. You just have to be on my side. I will let you kill people as long as you're still on my side. That at least would give us some kind of internal conflict with Rachel, with feeling all this power and all this rage, and wanting to take it out on Visser 1, who has hurt her friends and family
Yeah.
members. But then she also has to reckon with the fact that then she'd be siding with Crayak.
You know what I think happened, though? And this is totally fan theory, putting on my tinfoil hat, but this is truly what I think happened in whatever development process, whether it be Applegate and Grant just themselves and when they were coming up with the plot structure, or whether it be the ghostwriter sort of taking over. But I think that what happened in the process is that they realized that the Drode and Crayak's argument to kill Jake was simply too convincing for Rachel not to take it. And they realized they can't kill Jake. so then they were like, let's shift gears. let's have Crayak change his mind. And by association, the plot just inherently becomes less interesting. Hate every decision that Rachel makes thereafter, pretty much. I just think it makes no sense to leave Visser 1 alive at that point. Even if you are then suddenly beholden to Crayak and the Drode, at least you saved Earth. And then you could try to figure out a way out of that later. But I think that it simply does not make sense with the character for her to let Visser 1 go at that point. Yeah. And it sure as shit doesn't make any sense to have this whole emotionally charged moment, which admittedly is very well written. And I'll talk about the things I liked about the book later. But but this whole emotionally charged moment with David totally does not work. Because you already let two guys go who know everything. So none of this whole internal conflict about I just can't bring myself to kill this kid. None of it makes any sense when you've already let two people go. So you've already made the decision to let him go, and then they leave it open-ended because they don't want to go that dark. Dude, the whole conversation is so dark already. Yeah. It is bleak. It's the two of them crying for an hour while both completely accepting that David has to die. Yeah. Just give us the resolve, please. At this point, put the reader out of their misery. Not just David. Put me out of the emotional turmoil, because now I'm left thinking, okay, well, we don't know what happened when they do another Animorphs book, revival 20 years from now. Then it'll be another David story. Oh, actually, she never let him go, and then it's just exhausting. Put me out of my misery too. This is ridiculous. I hate the resolution. I hate the whole third act. I really I think that the whole plot just cripples in on itself, even though it's well written. Yeah,
I liked the third act specifically because of how well it was written. I like the ambiguity at the end. I don't think it's if you look at everything that happened before it, I don't think it deserves the emotional weight it's trying to give the reader. But I do, if it was just the ending on its own, and it's just Rachel crying in an alleyway, trying to figure out what to do, and she just feels so small and weak in this moment. I like the ambiguity of that, and I like the inner turmoil. I think it's the first time we've actually seen Rachel that low and vulnerable, and to do it in front of someone that she hates so much, that she does not respect, that she has threatened to kill multiple times. And for her to break down like that just in front of him, and he stays with her, even though he wants to die, he wants her to kill him. I think there's something there that's really powerful, and I really like that moment. The rest of the book, the stuff that happens before that, I was kind of interested in, but it wasn't fully pulling me in. Not saying it wasn't well written. We're a broken record. We say this all the time on the podcast. The people who write these books are good writers. Right. I like a lot of the way that it was written, and I like the ideas in it. I think we just need to make some tweaks to establish some ground rules and some limitations so we can actually understand what's at stake versus what could be. And B, I think if we can streamline it a little bit more in terms of I feel like there's a moment where Crayak comes in. He's like, "All right, David, tell her it's a ruse. She figured out your lie, so you got to tell her." And he's just like, "Oh man." And it's like, I feel like we could have done a little more build up, you know? Like, it was like a Scooby Doo mystery. They unmasked the villain. He's like, "Oh, I would have gotten you, kids." You know, like, we could have had something a little more built up. I think there is something interesting in this story, but I think it needs a little more focus, and we need to establish some ground rules and explain Crayak a little bit more than the bland, nebulous, whatever he wants that we have right now.
In general, the series just needs focus. It's not really a fault of this book necessarily. It's really just the overarching series. But to go back to your point about enjoying the third act and seeing Rachel get brought low, I mean, I would argue that we already had that in the finale of the David trilogy. This feels like reheating leftovers to me. And so I did not connect with the emotional element at all, even though, it is well executed in how it's presented, but I didn't connect with the emotional element because it felt like just a rehash of the exact same lesson that Rachel had already been through before.
Sure.
And the other part of it was you're so disconnected from the other Animorphs the entire book, you can't feel any sort of relationship to the things that founded the series before, which is something we've talked about in other books.
Yeah.
In this latter, from book 40 onwards. So I have no through line other than the inner monologue of things other people have said to Rachel about Rachel that she keeps reeling through in her head, manifesting her own anxieties, which I did think was a great plot device, by the way. But I have no actual catharsis in regards to how Rachel actually is going to change moving forward.
That's
she's
true.
She's still just the same person that we left her at in the solution. Now just with a whole heap of other anxieties, I guess, that kind of just came out of nowhere a little bit.
Yeah.
I just feel that if this book had come right after the solution, the solution is what it's called, right? The final the David trilogy. If this book had come shortly thereafter, a couple books after, I don't think I would have minded it as much. I think that this coming towards the end of the series, this being obviously leaning into all of the things that I think that the series just keeps being a house of cards, just falling in on itself over and over again with some of these things, like Crayak, like the Drode, these other bigger, larger science fiction questions that I don't think any of them really had a clear idea of where they were going when they were writing it, apart from just being interested in the plots. I just don't care. Is the bottom line. I can see why I should. I can see why independently this could be an interesting entry, that it presents some interesting moral quandaries, that it presents some interesting ideas, but I don't care because we've already been there. We've already seen this conclusion, and it was done in a satisfying, wrapped-up way. If you're going to open Pandora's box again, there has to be some glimmer of hope for what it could bring to the series moving forward, and I don't feel we've moved even one iota closer to anything from this book. As interesting as the moral quandaries may be, we have rehashed all of those themes within this book itself. We have presented new plot elements that I mean, the 1v1 thing is basically just reheating nachos from the attack. Here's this contrivance that now we present a circumstance that you're taken out of the circumstances of your world to now fight for something larger that could maybe have implications on your fight against the Yeerks forward. We've done that before. We've done all of this before. Everything that's in this book has already been done somewhere else in the series, and I think let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's move on, or let's show something new.
Yeah.
And so I can't relate to any of it. I just don't find any interest in it. I've already read it.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I think that that's a fair assessment. I think maybe a way to make the ending a bit more interesting and less ambiguous. I mean, I like the idea of the ambiguity with Rachel seeing the mirror shard on the ground and David right there begging her to kill him. You know, rats only live about 3 years, 3 to 5 maybe. So what if it's the chapter ends with Rachel just in the alleyway crying and trying to figure out what to do, and then the next chapter describes Rachel coming home from school and going into her bedroom, and she has a little rat cage that she's taking care of David, and one day she comes in and David's not moving, and he had died with her caring for him. I think that might be something really interesting, and Rachel just looking at it and like, I mean, obviously she's going to feel a lot of complex feelings there, but at least if she can't kill him, she can at least make him comfortable until he does die a natural death as a rat. It's not that much time. And I think, you know, it could just be a few months. Maybe he dies of, I mean, we don't know what he dies from. We come into the chapter and he's gone.
I mean, yeah, that's more interesting than what's presented here. I would be fine with that. I really, though, I mean, I just kind of am like,
yeah, I know. I'm trying to reach
David should
for
be
some...
dead.
No, he should be dead. I agree. He should.
You should just kill. Like, you should have killed him before, and I thought that before. I thought him being an Othlet, you know,
Yeah.
now you're just gonna have this freaky little rat running around, talking to people inside people's heads. I mean, I like you know too much. You're letting too many loose ends away.
Yeah. But if he's,
I also
Go
don't. No, I was just gonna say, like, I don't know how, you know, Visser 1 now doesn't start putting some semblance of clues together. I don't know. I don't know. Rachel makes painstakingly clear in that fight scene that she looks so different, you know, because of all these powers, and she's got all these morphs, and
she can adjust her face or whatever.
I guess is transitioning between them so effortlessly. But I just think that in terms of the circumstances, for to put your main villain, the main villain of the series
Visser
being
1,
Visser
yeah.
1 in this instance, to put your main villain in such a status of being completely just having no power, no sense of security, and to now be like, all right, go back into the world and keep doing what you're doing.
like, what the
if I'm
fuck?
Visser 1, I'm gonna be like, I can just get pulled out of time
At any point.
Then I'm not gonna. Then I'm not going to play into your game. Then I'm going to dedicate all of my resources as a Yeerk to try to defeat this benevolent overlord, because you seem to be the main villain in my path, not
because he also
Earthlings.
doesn't seem to know who Crayak is at all, right?
Right.
Like,
it was very weird.
Yeah.
Because it gave the impression that he did know Crayak.
Yeah, but like he
It's
also
like, but then had also never interacted with him before. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's kind of strange in and of itself. But I just, it's too muddy.
Yeah.
Too muddy in the waters. I don't even know where I started on this part of the rant. I don't remember what crumb you had given to lead me down this
we
trail.
asked
But
what you didn't like about the book.
oh yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much every contrivance, which is unfortunately the whole book. In terms of things I did like about it, though, I mean, I think you had put it very beautifully in saying it's incredibly well crafted in its prose to elicit the right emotional response for what Rachel's going through. I really, I had mentioned this before, but just to really give the flowers to whoever this ghostwriter was, I really thought it was a strong narrative device to have her reeling through these different phrases that have now contributed to her own internal anxiety about the way she views herself and how she thinks that she might be a bad person.
And how other
in a
people
world,
may view her as well.
in a world where she's trying to be the hero, but that she feels, which I think is a great character progression, and unfortunately I didn't think it went anywhere different, but I think it's a great character progression to have Rachel has been kind of showcased as sideline character just for an emotional extreme, like a reference point for the past, I don't know, 20 books now, where she's literally just there as the barometer, where she's on this end. She's going to be the one that's going to be fighting and killing. Mm-hmm. And then whoever's on the other end is going to have a sort of contrarian opinion of that, probably Cassie. And whatever our protagonist is probably going to be somewhere in the middle. And that's where Rachel's been for the past at least 20 books. Mm. I thought it was really interesting to have Rachel outright acknowledge that and have like a lot of inner conflict about it, because she doesn't perceive herself as just being hothead, completely, which doesn't coincide with half the books, 9/11 book included, but
you can't call it the 9/11 book.
It is literally predicted 9/11, and I think we have to. I think we owe it to the fans to say that.
We need a new title.
I can't even remember what that book was called. I just remember that moment. But I think it's a very interesting progression to have Rachel now have anxiety surrounding the things that have been basically passing her off throughout these last several installments. And I thought, wow, what an interesting idea. And I think that the prose and the way that it actually articulates that point in a very succinct manner is very commendable. I just don't care about David anymore. That plot is wrapped up. I don't care. And contriving this way to reinstitute him into the story with all these convoluted methods of these like outer beings that are just there to sow chaos is there's really no other polite way to say it. I just feel it's lazy. I think that I even though I'm still over David and it might be a less interesting book, I would have rather David just have been telling the truth the whole time, and Crayak and the Drode weren't a part of it whatsoever, and it would just be Rachel trying to figure this dilemma out. I think I would almost rather that, because then at least we wouldn't be so conflicted about the convoluted elements of the larger science fiction implications of this series that just can't seem to solidify or make any sort of sense. I mean, I don't know how I feel about this book. I think I really enjoyed the experience of reading it, and then the second it got done, I was mad. So I don't know how I feel. It's a really weird one.
It is a weird book.
To kind of qualify how I perceive it. I think it is like very much worth your time if you're an Animorphs fan. Yeah. Because I just think that it's one of the better written books. Yeah. Yeah. But I think that it just stumbles. It's just coming at a place in the series where it just feels exhausting. Yeah. There's really no other way to say it. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. After I finished this, I was like, okay, well, some of the stuff in there was really interesting and intriguing, and I wanted to read more about that. But the rest of it, I'm just kind of, like I just want us to get to the end at this point. Like, it just feels like it's so dragging. Yeah. And I think I said this in the last episode when we recorded, but I can understand why I dropped off a couple of times right around this area, because it just gets to a point where you're like, well, is anything else going to happen? And I'm not trying to like shit on the writers or anything like that, because I'm not trying to do that. I understand they had to make these quick. They had to write they had to come up with plots, like probably all the plots within a week, and they couldn't talk to each other about it. Yeah, so, it's not anybody's fault.
Well, it is the editor's fault, I think, for not going over. I mean, particularly in the case of like the last couple of books. But But yeah, I mean, I agree with you.
But
I think
you understand what I'm saying.
100%. I think that this, to your point about the series dragging, I feel as though this book certainly drags the series, but in a totally different way from what we were complaining about with the last two books. The last two books really felt like they were dragging the series in like completely different ways, where we're just literally not making progress on solidifying who these characters are, what the final arc is going to be,
and it was just totally illogical based on everything that was happening.
Yeah, but this one is like dream sequence at the beginning notwithstanding, very much grounded in the sense of reality that Animorphs has established, and I don't feel that at any point in this book I felt the drag of get to the point that I felt from the last two books.
Correct. Yeah, I agree.
This one just feels like it drags in the sense of we've seen this before.
Yes.
And it's so interesting in this weird way that I cannot make sense of.
It's like a weird sense of deja vu.
Yeah, I just feel, I'm like, because it's so funny.
Felt this before.
Yeah, if you had asked me a week ago what I thought this book, reading this book experience was going to be like, I would have told you it's probably going to feel like a rehash of the David trilogy.
Yeah.
And that is exactly how I feel, and I think I would have been correct, but I don't feel the same level of satisfaction.
Yeah.
I even knowing that I would have been right in my conclusions, I don't think the path to get to those same conclusion was anything like I would have predicted it to be.
Yeah.
So it's just very odd to kind of, critique these books and sort of fine tune some of these things, because I'm like realizing in real time the conclusions that I would draw from what I expect my experience to be are correct. The path to get there is just never what I expect.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting. It's like winning a carnival game, and then they're like, okay, here's your prize, and then the prize is like not the one you wanted, but they won't let you
it's like a
choose
dead
different one.
goldfish. And
yeah,
you're
it's like a dead. It's like you won a goldfish, but it's dead, and you're like, oh.
And I knew it would be a dead goldfish, but I'm like satisfied that I won, but then I'm also like,
it doesn't feel like I won.
It doesn't feel like I won.
It
feels so weird. I don't know. It's this
very
really
strange.
odd experience.
Let us know, folks, if you're still listening at this point, because we've been just blabbing about this for a half hour. If you feel similarly, but you haven't been able to figure out a way to verbalize it or anything, if you feel kind of in the same boat as us, please let us know if you reread the series and you get to this area of the books. Is it just us? Is it just us?
Yeah. Are we alone in this feeling?
Are we weirdos?
In this weird space?
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what's also funny too on this point before we actually go into the plot of it, but we keep, since Marco got his mom out and got his dad out, every book since then, we keep starting it off addressing this idea of maybe we should go public with what's happening here.
Yeah, yeah.
And every single time I think, okay, this is going to be the plot of the book. And every time it's not the plot of the book. And I'm like, to bring it back to your point about the sort of stagnation, I think that's kind of, crazy. Really playing into this feeling.
Yeah.
Where it feels like we're not making progress, because literally every single time they have started a book since that book, which I think was 3 books ago.
Yeah.
Every single time they've started a book, they keep teasing us, saying, this is going to be the one where we're going to go public. Okay, we got a different plot going on.
Yeah.
And you're like, what is happening?
It would make it so much more interesting and complex, I think, if they did go public, because then they have to hide their families or try to protect their families. Jake has to figure out if he's just going to completely cut off his family and pretend to run away, like if they could take each other's DNA and morph different versions of themselves to go on TV. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and talk about this stuff so they can't be recognized by the Yeerk. I mean, you can get so much more interesting plot lines by going public earlier than what we've got now. Because again,
Or
it's
even,
just a stagnation.
Put aside interesting plot lines. It's really just the idea of like, as we've been saying for, what book is this? 48?
48.
We said? We've been saying for 47 books that the Animorphs are the worst kept secret of all time, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
I think, put aside the interesting plot lines, honestly, you're doing yourselves a favor if you get this out in the open.
Get it out
because
there.
At this point, the fact that the Yeerks don't know, I'm like, how in the world do they not know at this point? This is just crazy.
Listen, Gianni,
everybody should know this.
We got to do it for Dick Carpenter. You know what I mean?
We have so many loose ends. Yeah, we got to do it.
What
for
happened
Dick
to his
Carpenter.
kids?
What
happened to his kids?
Well, apparently they're just conspiracy theorists that are on like the back page of the newspaper that no one's paying attention
like
to,
10.
according to Rachel.
They're 10.
I don't even know. Like Rachel outright. I do appreciate that they. Let's just jump into the plot because this happens right at the beginning.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah.
Rachel just sort of sets the stage for what they're sort of experiencing, and we'll talk about the dream sequence in a second. But in part of this expositional element that we've come accustomed to with a lot of these books, it's like, oh, I can only tell you my first name, that kind of thing. She does outright mention, and I appreciate that they at least addressed some of the things where, hey, we have a lot of loose ends out there. People definitely know that we morph. Mm-hmm. I appreciate the attempt to at least acknowledge and say, a lot of people know, but the way they get around it is Rachel sort of lazily mentioning, oh yeah, a lot of it's just been relegated to everybody just thinks it's a bunch of science fiction conspiracy mumbo jumbo, and it's all in like the back page of a newspaper if they're at all, and no one's actually taking it seriously. I know who would take it seriously. The Yeerks, who were also there. How about the guys who are like completely looking for you at this point? Those people would be like, a lot of elements in this kid's story certainly line up with a fight that we just had for an entire race that we were trying to get to in the mountains, which we should still get back to, by the way. But I think that they might be onto something. We should probably look into these fucking kids.
Yeah. We have to. That would
Crazy.
be like, the next logical step, but we can't have that yet, Gianni. So, Rachel opens the book. She's touring the White House. They're just letting the kids run amok in the White House.
Sure.
Running around.
I was floored.
She mentioned the Rose Garden. I was like, R.I.P.
Did you know it was a dream sequence at any point, or until it was actually revealed to be a dream sequence?
I didn't, actually. I forgot.
I did not either.
It didn't
I did not either at all.
It was again, written really well. So you realize later it's told you that it's a dream. But Rachel's on a field trip from Forks, Washington to Washington, D.C. and they're just going around the White House, hanging out in the Rose Garden that unfortunately no longer exists. And then she looks out the window and she sees Tobias flying around, but then, he gets shot. And he lands on the grass, doesn't move.
Shot right out of the sky. And then all Secret Service starts going nuts.
Yep.
All these cannons are going off. Everybody's like frantic and trying to get away because there's an attack on the White House. And Rachel's like, oh my god, there's a fucking Yeerk attack on the White House. Jake is like, battle morphs.
Yeah.
And I in retrospect, I should have known something's off. But I guess
Rachel hides behind a curtain to morph.
It's either a testament to the quality of writing in this book, or a testament to how truly dreadful the character assassination on Rachel has been in the past about 25 books. Yeah. But for whatever reason, I should have been onto it, because almost immediately Rachel's internal monologue is very
angry.
Gianni pilled.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Hate
She's
Jake.
just saying everything that I've said on this podcast. she's like, Jake's the leader, I guess. We do whatever he says, I guess. But I think that he's kind of steering us wrong, but I guess I'll go into battle morph or whatever. I feel fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And she goes into like this grizzly morph, and then immediately, again, I should have known at this point in retrospect, but again, we have to remember the context in which we come into this book, into these books, is always whatever is preceding it. So, I was just under the assumption, like, okay, I guess we're just going full Monty on this Rachel's fucking crazy train, because she immediately, like, sees a regular-ass Secret Service guy, and she doesn't even know if he's a Yeerk, and she's like, I gotta fucking kill this guy. This guy sucks. Yeah. And I'm like, whoa, okay.
Let's get starting off at 100. Let's go, Rachel.
Crazy.
So the president's getting on the chopper, and the Yeerks are coming after the chopper, and Rachel says, I'm gonna go get to the chopper. And Jake says, don't do it, Rachel. And Rachel says, you're not my dad. And she goes out the window. She goes to the chopper. And she fights all the Yeerks there. All these Hork-Bajir come out and Taxons. And she slash, hack, bite, rawr. And she destroys them all.
But she's also definitely getting, like, grievously wounded.
Yes, but she doesn't feel it because she's full of rage.
She's full of rage. And at a certain point, the other Animorphs kind of, like, pull her out of the fight.
Yeah.
And Jake starts sending them off to go do stuff. And she's like, Jake, stop trying to pull me out of the fight, you fucking pussy. Yeah. Paraphrasing. But stop trying to pull me out of the fight, you fucking pussy. And then she has the thought, she's like,
what if I just fight him?
Like, what if I just fucking beat him? Yeah. And then I'm the leader of the Animorphs now. And she even remarks to herself, she's like, I know it's like a little uncharacteristic of me, but honestly, like, I don't know if it's me or the grizzly or both, but I'm just feeling it right now. Yeah. And I was like, at this point, I'm like, I'm back in. I don't care. I don't care. So I don't care that she's acting fucking crazy, and this is clearly a bad move.
This is good. This is good.
I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Fucking kill him. And she goes and fights him and gets her ass absolutely whooped. And he's like acting all smug about it. And he's like, you're bleeding out, Rachel. You don't understand. You can't take over the Animorphs. I'm in charge. And she's like, dude, fuck you, dude. And then they're like, demorph, Rachel. Just demorph. Get out of this. You're acting nuts. And she's like, no, I'm not going to demorph over my dead fucking body. Yeah. And I was like, Jesus, this is wild. And then she wakes up.
Yeah, she wakes up, she's having a nightmare, she freaks out. And so then she goes back to sleep. It's the next day. Rachel goes to talk to Kacey, and Axe and Marco kind of sense something's off with Rachel, but they don't really say anything to her about it, but they can sense something's kind of off. So the gang meets.
Jake also acts super weird with her.
Yeah, probably because he wants to kiss her, because they want to kiss. They want to kiss. He's kind of dismissive. He's been said in previous books.
One previous book.
They're kissing cousins, Gianni. That's what they are.
But yeah, he acts super dismissive, and she's like, what, is this because of the thing on the White House? To herself. Yeah. And then she's like, wait, Rachel, that wasn't real. That was a dream. Yeah. Silly me.
Tee-hee-hee-hee-hee. Just girly things. So the gang talks about, they think the Yeerks are just going to try an open war, and Rachel's like, great. Let them be open, and that way we can openly fight them and murder them.
Right.
I think that's a great idea. And everyone is like, are you okay, Rachel? Because that's not a good idea. And Rachel's like, why are you booing me? I'm right. And they're like, we don't like war. And Rachel's like, I'm not saying I like war. I'm just saying that this is going to be better for us in the end. Yes, there will be casualties, but... Right. We'll at least have a bigger force to fight against them.
Are there really less casualties at this point?
I don't think so.
What do we?
Probably not.
I don't know. At this point, what is the debate?
I don't know.
What is the debate at this point?
Well, everyone thinks that she's gung-ho about war and she wants war to happen. And it's clear she's not saying that. She's just saying she thinks it would be more beneficial for the Yeerks and the Animorphs to be open about this war going on than keeping it secret the whole time. And I think she has a point.
Has a point? Yeah. But more than a point. I mean, this is cut and dry at this point, I think. What's the alternative at this point? That the Yeerks keep doing a quiet infiltration, and then anybody that you were going to tell just becomes a Yeerk anyway? What?
And
what do we have to lose?
How much benefit has it been really to keep this all a secret?
None. It's zero.
Not. Yeah. It's not.
Literally
So,
zero.
yeah.
And I
It's
get
not.
it, they're kids, but I would argue that the books make painstakingly clear that they are kids hardened by war
Yes.
to now feel the weight of being full grown adults. So anybody that's going to just write off like, any of the bad decisions that Animorphs makes because, oh, they're kids, you have not been reading the same series that I have, frankly, because I think that is just the laziest Passover of a valid critique, because the books as they are written try to very clearly illustrate the point that these are not children anymore.
Yeah.
That every single book has been, let's throw these kids to the fucking fire and let them grow up immediately because they have to make decisions on a major consequential level. So if that is like just a pass all for whatever criticism anybody may have about the Animorphs, you are just simply not engaging with the books as they are written. Frankly, I just can't respect it. I see that argument on Reddit all the time, and I think it's asinine. I think it's crazy.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. So she talks to Tobias after the gang kind of is mean to her, and Tobias is like, well, look, you're kind of scaring us because it seems like you're enthusiastic about war. And Rachel's like, are you listening to anything I'm saying? Because I don't think you are. And Tobias is like, look, Rachel, maybe you shouldn't be so enthusiastic about war. And then he goes and he kills a little vole or rabbit or something for his dinner.
Yeah, he's like, do you mind if I eat real quick?
And Rachel's like, my boyfriend doesn't understand me. Great. She has another nightmare. And her mom tells her the next day, hey, we caught a rat in the basement. Can you go clean it up? Gross, Mom. How about you clean it up? You put the trap there.
Quick ticky timeout on this, because you did mention something that I did want to talk about.
Yeah.
The boyfriend comment, because she outright says that I guess Tobias is my boyfriend. It's like a complicated situation or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, so sweet. So glad.
Yeah.
But also, this is now 2 times where romance gets teased and then I guess blossoms off screen, because I would like
a little bit of tenderness.
I would like to see it. I as someone who has read many a book of you all, I would like to see the character growth of you guys actually engaging in some sort of romantic situation, because I personally am invested and rooting for the development.
Yeah.
I think that it makes perfect sense, and I'm very happy with the conclusions that you've drawn. But I also think, like, hey, man, I would like to see that at one point, because what do you mean it just happened off screen? You're dating a bird now? That's crazy.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about it?
It's funny because every time you talk about romance in these books, I just think of a comment you made from one of the Axe's books where maybe it's not necessarily romance.
Could have been anything.
But you were like, how do baby Andalites feed? Do they just put their hooves on mom's nipples and just... And I just can't get that image out of my head anytime romance comes up in these books. I'm upset that you've cursed me with this image, and it won't leave me alone.
You know what's fucking crazy is that I don't even remember saying that, and I think that's fucking hilarious.
You were like, do their hooves, like... on the...
Dude, sometimes I surprise myself, guys.
We gotta put that in a TV show, clearly.
That has to be there. If not the actual element itself, at least a line of someone asking.
Exactly. So anyway,
that's so funny.
She goes and to clean up this dead rat in the basement. She freaks out because she's thinking about David and just mulling that over in her head because she's not over it. She goes to school. She's having auditory hallucinations. She's freaking out. She's having panic attacks. So she keeps hearing David crying out, feeling like she's just seeing things all around her. So she goes home and she's like, I can't be here. I'm going to go home. And she goes to meet Kacey at the barn, but then Kacey's attacked by 200 rats. I don't know how she knows it's 200 rats, but I guess just she's played a plague tale where the rats just spark up from the ground like an earthquake.
What a crazy way to say that, like for the books now to introduce that Rachel's has whatever degree of autism that Dustin Hoffman has in Rain Man.
She can count exactly how many rats.
It's like, yeah, I can count exactly how many rats. 239 rats. Oh no! Like, run away.
Well, it's funny because she was in the book. I think she actually says Cassie was being attacked by about 200 rats, which I'm like, that implies that you have a certain certainty of how many rats.
That is a degree. Yeah, that is a degree, because you didn't say 100. Because 100 I could pass off as like, that's a lot of rats.
About 100 rats. That's a lot. It's a lot of rats.
But
or 100 or something.
She said about 200 rats, which also is not 500 rats. Because 500 would be like, whoa, that's a ton of rats.
That's a lot of rats.
Even if she had said 70 rats, I would be like, that's a lot of rats, but also, how did you land on 70? That just seems like so specific.
Yeah.
200 strikes me in the same way that 70 does, 200. Where I'm like, that you have a way of processing the number of rats that I have seldom seen in other humans.
Yeah. Good for her. Game recognized game, Gianni.
Yeah. I see a kindred spirit in you.
Dude, risen with the tism. You know what I'm saying. So anyway, they get attacked by the about 200 rats, and Rachel says, we got to run to the pond, Cassie, to drown the rats and get them off our body. So they run to the pond, and Rachel passes out in this pond, and she's like dead man floating at the top, and she wakes up. Right. And she is in a sewer system, and she finds she's trapped in a box. So she's kind of sitting with her knees up to her chest, and the box is kind of cramped. She can't morph in it. She can't escape from it. It only has tiny air, like breathing air holes at the top, but then there's bug, like poison at the bottom, so she can't.
Which also point of order, like, what are we talking about? You know what I mean? Like, can't morph in the box, like, that is just frankly completely untrue. Like, yes, you can.
She can, but she could die.
Right, but no, she won't actually, right? Well, because we know this.
If she goes bug, it could be that the bug breathing in is small enough, like, to breathe in the poison, and then that would kill her based on how much poison is in the box.
Right.
But, like, if she also morphs like a shrew or a mouse, she can't climb up the walls to get out the air holes in the top. That's how I imagined it. They don't really describe that. But that's how I imagined it.
No. I guess I'm being glib and making jokes about it, but I think everything you're saying totally correct, and that's definitely how the book presents the information. But like, what are we talking about? You know, box with poison. I like that. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? It's more so. It's more so a criticism of the contrivance of the plot point where you just kind of are like, hand wave it, don't worry, box with poison, can't morph. Okay, I guess.
You know what would have been great? If Rachel, if David was like threatening her, he's like, morph rat or else we'll kill you. And she's like, all right. She just licks her finger, puts it in the bug poison on the box and be like, I'll lick it.
Yeah, go. Like, then I'll be dead. Sorry.
I'll be dead either way, so... What's up, David? Call my bluff. That would have been kind of cool. Sure. Anyway, two chuds walk in and like
what is she? What does she call?
Face.
She calls one of them Greasy and the other one other one something.
Grease ball and tattoo face because he had a tattoo on the side of his cheek or whatever.
Just two goons.
Post Malone and
from
Grease
Batman.
Ball.
Yeah, Post Malone and Grease guy.
Yeah. So they come in and they pull David the rat out of their pockets, and my first thought is, what the fuck are these guys doing?
Yeah, what are these guys
Why
doing
are you listening to a rat?
And we won't even
do for you.
Yeah, we won't even give them names. That's how lazily we're the book is literally telling the reader, it's like, hey, don't give a shit about these guys. These guys are just here to illustrate the point.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about them.
That's why I call them two chuds, because it's like, why?
I would rather get these guys out of here. I would rather it just be rats. I would rather it just be David and then actual rats. That David just
like they're carrying David on top of them like he's crowd surfing.
He hath become rat king. Now that I would have been interested
Yeah,
in.
that actually would have been amazing. But, okay. So they pull out Rat David, and David's like, let me tell you about my whole backstory. And so David says he got off the island by creating a whole rat cult and convincing all these other rats to be in a rat pack with him, and they all snuck onto a ship. Yeah, they all snuck onto a ship where they spread cholera and syphilis and whatever else rats carry. And then he bribed humans by paying the money that he stole from the bank. He's like, rats can get in and out of anywhere, and I can just take a bunch of money. I've got about $200,000.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I
No, they can't.
know.
Like, literally, no, they can't. If somehow a rat got into a bank and was able to
get into the cash
you're
register,
stealing $1 at a time?
No, I mean,
like, what are you talking about?
I think, because rats are pretty big, I think they could carry a decent stack of paper money, especially if he's a human. He can fold that stack in half, carry it in his mouth, and I think he could get out pretty.
He's not a human.
Easily.
He's
no,
a rat.
But he's like brain human because he's thinking like a human.
Brain human rat body.
Yes.
You're not walking out with more than a grand. Let's say.
Listen. I'm saying a rat looking at paper money would look at it and try to carry it one way and be like, I don't know how to do this. I'm a rat.
Also,
whereas human. Yes.
The functionality too of even if you're folding.
Yeah.
Let's say you're folding a stack of cash. Picture for me a moment a stack of cash.
Yeah.
We're talking about what? You're thinking like this thick? I'm holding up a book for the
quite
audio
that
audience.
thick, but maybe close.
Okay, so we're talking about what? Like this much? This is how much you see?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Let's do that.
This is
it's all hundreds.
Let's generously say this is $1,000, okay?
Okay.
The width of a dollar bill is like sorry, not the width. The length of a dollar is what, 6 inches and 6 point something inches.
I think
so.
Maybe a little smaller than that. Hang on, I have a, not to flash money.
Right.
This is my rent. Okay, it's about that much.
A rat-sized hole is yay big. Yeah.
Yeah, but they have collapsible skeletons also.
What?
Mice and rats have collapsible skeletons. That's why they can squeeze in tiny holes.
And I agree with you. And I think that a singular dollar bill probably would also be able to accommodate that as well. A wad of those is not fitting through any sort of collapsible tunnels.
What if he unfolded it and pulled it?
Unfolded it and then just scooches it in there?
Also,
point being, this plan takes way too long.
No, wait. How? Whenever you get a brand new crisp dollar bill, those are so thin. They are paper thin. They're a pain in the ass to have a stack of because they're so thin. You gotta.
Listen. I am not arguing with him being able to get like a singular dollar bill in and out of a hole. I am simply arguing with like the amount of time it takes to accumulate enough cash.
Yes.
Hey, there's a rat in here. Let's put out some rat traps. We need to catch this rat. Get animal control. Cover this hole. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know what banks you're finding that have holes all over them, but I promise they would be exploited first.
The old ones.
He's just going to all the banks that have already been robbed. He's like, damn it, got the one that was robbed again because it has all these fucking holes in it.
Yeah.
There's no way you can accumulate the kind of. Now, I say this with the caveat as well that like I don't get the impression that these guys require a lot of money. No. So yeah, perhaps they're fine with just $50 on retainer to work for a rat.
Especially if they're high school kids in the early.
Are they high school kids? One of them has a tattoo on their face.
Parents' permission.
I did not get the impression that these were high school kids. I kept seeing literal
like
Arkham
31-year-olds.
Oh, jeez, it's the bat! That's what I was seeing in my head.
Fair enough.
Which, if you've played those games, then you totally get what I'm talking about. If you haven't played those games, you're like, what joke did Gianni just make? So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're on your own.
Those are grown men that are working for a rat.
All right, I'll accept it's grown men, with sad grown men.
Grown men working for $50 a piece.
So he tells Rachel, he's like, Rachel, look, I've been paying these guys money, and I want to trap you as a rat so you'll be just like me. And that's what you need because you're a bad person. Rachel's like, am I a bad person? But I was willing to do what it takes to win. So does that make me a bad person? And then she makes David cry, which I was like, huh,
Right.
interesting. And then he reveals, he's like, well, if you're not going to morph, guess what? I got Cassie. Yeah, that whole quote unquote dream with the 200 rats, that was real life. And I got Cassie back here. And I'll kill her if you don't morph. So you need to morph. And Rachel says, no, not Cassie. So she morphs. And David says, I want to wipe out most of the human race by giving them the plague. So that way it'll scare the Yeerks away.
And then it'll be all rats
and they won't,
all the time.
Yeah, it will be all rats. And we won't have the Yeerks here anymore because all the humans will be dead.
This plan is fucking mental. But
it's a beautiful
what's
plan.
more mental is that Crayak, the implications that Crayak and the Drode are letting him do it. And I'm like,
yeah.
What? How is this somehow better than just being a rat who then like goes on public television and is like, I can talk, and also I know that there's an alien invasion, and also I know that these people are the people that the aliens are looking for. Go have fun. I think that is like a way better plan of like getting back at them from David's perspective. But more importantly, I think it's a way better plan of sowing chaos into the world, because that's allegedly what the Drode and Crayak are all about. They want to just get the most chaotic environment. The plague does not seem conducive to chaos. That seems like conducive to just death, which, listen, if Crayak is the god of death, this is a very different conversation. Sure. But I don't get the impression that Crayak is the god of death, because otherwise Crayak would just be, doing what death does, which is killing. Yeah. But no, these are chaos demons. They just want to just sow chaos. So okay, David, go have fun. And the rat is like, I know how I'll have fun. I'll get all rats to be in charge. Yeah. That's fucking stupid.
Yeah, well, I mean, Rachel kind of gets almost pulled in by this plan of like, yeah, it's a good plan. And then she's like, wait, no, it's not. And she looks over and she sees a red eye. And she's like, uh-oh. And she looks over to Cassie. What? Cassie turns into the Drode.
Oh, thwarted again.
We got done goofed by the Drode.
Oh, drats. The fucking creepy little frog man.
Yeah.
Strikes again.
I see him as
Cassie.
Yes, the Drode is here.
I'm here.
I see him as a stork with like a little mailman hat on top.
Yes, yeah,
That's how
totally.
I see him.
That is a way better image than the one that they paint.
It's not at all how they describe the Drode, but that's how I see him, and I think it's more interesting that way, because storks are kind of weird, and I also imagine that his legs don't bend very well, so he has this very like leaning forward and back when he walks, and his legs are just kind of like sticking out. It's weird, but I kind of like
always
that
see
image.
him. There's an enemy in Bloodborne, actually, that is always the image that comes to my head. I'll try to find it for you so I can send it to
me.
But keep talking while I look this
up. So Crayak tells David, Rachel calls David out. She's like, you're lying. There's no way that any of this is true. And Crayak says, David, we said that if she could figure out you're lying, you have to tell the truth. And David's like, yeah, I don't have an army, and I haven't talked to rats. The rats don't group together. But I did make a deal with Crayak, and he said he'd get me off the island in exchange for a companion, because I'm real lonely. And Crayak says, I can free you, Rachel, but first you must free yourself from yourself. And my first reaction to that was, what? What does that mean? What does that mean?
It doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't elaborate.
It literally means nothing.
Doesn't go back to it at all. Okay. So then the cube is gone, and she's standing up in this big chamber. She's human. Crayak says, hey, come with me. Let's take you to this big room. And he makes her into Super Rachel, where he fills her with hate, gives her Wolverine claws and abs and arms. and makes her like super powerful. Oh, what's this text
Yeah,
I got from
sorry.
Mr. Gianni?
Yeah, I'm sending you this.
Oh,
I'm so distracted. But
that's
these
scary.
these are called the living failures.
The living failures?
Which, if you played Bloodborne, particularly if you played the old Hunters DLC, you know.
Yeah.
But they're it's like the biggest like goof boss in the old Hunters DLC. Where it's just these fucking weird guys. But this is always what I picture when I read Crayak. I'm just picturing these like gelatinous humanoid
Why do
weirdos.
they have noses for heads?
Oh, brother! It just
brother.
It really goes down a whole rabbit hole.
Boy, I don't like those. No thanks.
The best way I can describe Bloodborne is, and I'm paraphrasing a tweet, but there was a really good tweet that was like, Bloodborne might have the best story of all time, and then it was like, also Bloodborne. They call him Old Hat Man because he's old and has a hat. And that's kind of that's kind of like how
it is.
But also best story ever, but also
Old
kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
And anyway, they're the living failures. Guess what they are?
Are they living failures?
Living failures,
Sick.
you know. Yeah.
Sick.
But anyway, that's what I always picture as the Drode.
So anyway, she feels super powerful. She feels crazy. She's like, I'm hungry for blood. So she scares the Drode. She picks him up and then she rips his head off. At which point I can hear Gianni screaming for joy all the way up from Manhattan, just
if only
cheering and so happy. And then it turns out the Drode is actually still alive. That was just a thing that the Crayak put in Rachel's head. Cool. So Crayak says, oh, maybe I'm wasting my time. And he puts Rachel back in the cube. And Rachel says, no, you're not. And so she fights David. And then Crayak makes her big again. And she goes back and forth, rat big, rat big, rat big. And she struggles with the choices of like, what do I want? Do I want to be weak and small, or do I want to be big and angry and strong? And she doesn't know, because she wants to be the good guy, but she doesn't know which is good.
I just think this is like it's very ham-fisted way of depicting the theme, which I'm not upset about at all. I think
no, I kind of like it. Yeah,
but I think it's how disappointed were you on a scale from 1 to 10 to find out that like the cover of Big Rachel on the cover of this book is her half rat, because I was like, oh, half Wolverine, sick. And then as soon as we read the book and it was like, oh, that's what it is, it's a part rat. Also she just looks like Rachel.
Yeah, she does. The cover is kind of disappointing.
She looks like lycanthrope Rachel, which is way more hilarious when you're picturing that as like, there's no way Visser 1's going to recognize me. I look so different. And then you look at the cover of this book and you're like, no, you don't at all.
No, you don't.
Not at all. You look the same with long fingernails. But yeah, sorry. Anyway, go ahead.
So Crayak says, if you want to be big and powerful, you have to kill Jake because he killed my howlers, and you got to do that. So
amazing idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Great
He's
idea.
like, if you want to kill all the Yeerks, you got to kill Jake.
Phenomenal idea.
And then he pulls in an arena and pulls in Visser 1 and says, Rachel, if Visser 1 wins, he can keep the Earth, and if he loses, you all, they have to leave the Earth immediately. All the Yeerks, Visser 1, everybody. So if you beat him, then your planet is free. And Visser starts morphing different morphs and trying to beat Rachel. He turns into a puddle. Which I was like,
yeah, it's like some sort of gelatinous ooze,
and then a gelatinous ooze, like Alex neck.
But then she turns into. By the way, that was my chair squeaking. I did not fart, but
I didn't even hear
it. You will when you listen back to the audio, and I just want you to know for when you are editing.
Thank you so much.
I know you're going to leave that in anyway, but now
so
I'm addressing it to the audience. But she also then discovers that she can morph into basically anything, and she becomes some sort of weird plant monster that really likes eating this ooze.
Yeah, she has like a proboscis, and that just sucks.
Which again, I'm like, we're putting these two people in this nebulous space that exists outside time, and they can morph into anything, and they could do whatever to the full extent of their powers and whatever, have at it. Fine, I guess, but then how are we not addressing the fact that, okay, we could just do this at any time. We could just do this. You could take the literal president of the United States out of the White House tomorrow and be like, yeah, you're fighting for the world and fate of mankind now, actually.
Yeah.
Go for it.
The Ellimist could do this at any point.
Any point.
Any point.
Apparently.
Look, maybe we missed something by not reading the Ellimist book before this one, but could be wrong. I don't know. We'll wait till we get to
We were
52.
instructed not to, and I trust our
correct.
viewers. I trust
Mr.
our viewers
Ryan.
to know.
Mr. Ryan, you're on the chopping
And I have a
block.
strong feeling we did not. I have a strong feeling they don't explain this.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. So Rachel corners Visser 1 and she's about to kill him, and then she realizes, if I kill him, I'm exactly like him. No, I'm not gonna kill him. And Crayak's like, no! So then he puts her back in the rat cage, and there's only a few minutes before she's trapped forever. And
Doesn't
then
he call her a fool?
Yeah,
I thought that was fun.
fool.
He's like, you're a fool!
I like a
and
good
I was like, that
fool.
should make a comeback. That should make a comeback.
Yeah, I think
Big
so.
time.
I think so. Absolutely.
If you're out there, start calling people fools more often.
fool.
Why are you acting like a fool? And then bop them on the nose.
I just recently called a friend a ding dong, and I was like, I haven't used that in a while.
Eh,
You ding
that one
dong.
should stay dead. That one should stay dead.
What's
But I
wrong
like
with-
you workshopping. I like the energy that you're playing with.
Today, two of my managers that I work with were talking about sending Lyft rides to the different locations, and they each chose a ride to send. And I was like, look, if you guys are yeeting lifts back and forth to each other, you need to send me the receipts. And I just
Yeeting lifts.
was just yeeting lift rides back and forth. You guys gotta send me.
lips.
You gotta send me the
Oh,
receipts.
brother. I like the energy you're coming with, but
Listen.
we gotta workshop.
Listen, I'm doing my best.
And that's the problem.
I kind of like it. I like the struggle and the pain of just the cringe.
Yeah, you do. Yeah,
I kind of really
Yeah, that
enjoy it
is-
because everybody else is just
that is
so
something I know
uncomfortable.
about you, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just this
Yeah.
weekend, I had a couple of friends over, and there was a card. We drew cards, and we had to place curses on people. And one of them, a curse that I got that I had to do for the rest of the game, was that every time my turn came up, it said, "You are a rapper, and you have to make a rhyme before you say anything else." And so
boy.
the first one I came up with was "Wiggity whack, I've had a panic attack."
That's pretty good, actually.
That's not bad, right?
Yeah.
And then the second time it was my turn, it was another version of "Wiggity whack, I like the color black."
You
You
found
know,
one. Yeah, you found one rhyme scheme,
And I
and
just-
then you said, "I'm gonna
I
ride
kept
this."
using it.
Mhm.
And and
Yeah.
my friend David, he's like, "You need to get a new rhyme." And I was like, "No, I don't think I do." And so then today I sent him a message and I said, "Wiggity whack, I'm out of here, Jack," at the end of my day.
Oh, buddy.
And he said, "Hippity hoppity, get the fuck out." And I said, "Brilliant. Keep them coming."
That's a great home run out there for.
Try it out with your friends.
Yeah. Oh goodness.
Anyway.
Yeah, you're the living embodiment of Scott's tots. Continue.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, that's the tools that I've been given with to just exist. That's all I got. Anyway, so
Here I am enabling you.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. Anyway, Rachel says, "Hey, Chuds, let me out and I'll give you $100. 100K each, because David said he's got 200,000. Not that you have any proof that he actually has this, not that I have any proof or know where it is, but I'll give you each 100K if you let us out. If you let me out of this cage." She gets out just in time because these guys are too dumb to realize what a lie is, and she morphs.
sounds like she really knows what she's talking about.
She
boss, I
said,
think we got to flip on the rat.
"Wiggity whack, let's let out this rat."
Oh boy.
Anyway, so then right after she gets out of the cage, she's like, "Hang on a second, guys." And then she morphs Grizzly and she scares them away. And then she goes to let Cassie out. And
Well, she has a moment where she like half gets out of her rat morph.
Yeah. And then she
and
thinks
David's
she's
like,
stuck.
"Ha ha ha ha! You're stuck.
You're
now,
stuck
This
as
is even
rat
better than
girl."
if you were a rat."
Yeah.
And then she's like, just kidding, not stuck. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, not stuck, not stuck. So then Rachel says, hey, I'm going to go get David. I'm going to go find him. And I'm going to take him back to the island. And Cassie says, man, if it were me, I don't think I could do it a second time. And Rachel, I loved this part. Rachel looks Cassie in the face and she says, will you do it? Oh, I didn't think so.
Yeah, that was...
Suck it, Cassie.
That was sick as fuck.
That was such
more
a good
infighting.
Moment. Yeah.
More infighting. It was so...
It was deserved.
Too.
Yeah.
It was so earned because... Well, not just from the circumstances of other books as well. Mm-hmm. The way the chapter sort of laid it out, and Cassie, has this moment of, hemming and hawing about what they should do, and the internal monologue that the ghostwriter had Rachel go through, I thought was just so well crafted, where it's just this big roller coaster of her kind of figuring out in real time why she's been so upset with the other Animorphs for viewing her in such a way.
Yeah. And
she's like, oh, I just do the dirty work that you guys don't want to do, and then you judge me for it.
Yeah.
That's why I've been mad at you. Yep. And I just thought it was like just such a good snap to be like,
snap.
Yeah, just fuck you, dude. Like, it's just so egregious.
Yeah.
You guys keep putting me in these positions, and then
you get mad at me for doing it.
Judge me for it. Yeah.
Fuck you.
Loved it.
You do it.
Loved it. More of that.
So anyway, she runs through the sewers. She goes and she chases David out and she finds him. And then she ends up feeling sorry for him because he is begging her to kill him. He says, end my existence. I'm miserable. I hate being a rat. Nobody takes me seriously. Just kill me for the love of Christ.
Yeah, this gets real bleak real quick.
Yeah. And she sits down and she just breaks down into tears from the whole experience. And she hides her face in her knees. And she's hoping that as she's crying, David is just going to run off and she's not going to have to make that decision. And she looks up and he's still there. And there's a moment she describes where David is kind of basking in the sunlight with his eyes closed, just enjoying the sun on his skin. And she looks over.
On his fur.
Yeah, it was a really nice little moment. And she looks over on the ground and she sees a broken shard of a mirror. And she sees a reflection of herself just crying and sad in the sunlight. And she looks at it. She says, all I see is like a teenage girl sitting on a curb crying. And she doesn't know what to do. And that's kind of where the book ends. She just... Yeah. She's kind of there.
Fucking go there, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know that it's very, very strong in the implication. Mm-hmm. Just
give us a
do
little.
It.
Just a little.
Just
make it artistic. Like she picks up the broken mirror, looks at herself, and looks at David, and leans forward to David, and that's it.
I know what I have to do.
I know what. Yeah. Blank. Yeah. That's it.
Cut to black.
I am the good.
Just give me just that little bit more.
Wait. She holds the mirror shard, looks at David, looks back in the mirror, and she says, "I am the good guy."
Yeah.
And then, that's it.
Guts his ass. Yeah. Or have Tobias do it. Remember when this book started out and Tobias ate a random creature?
That could honestly, it would have been great if Tobias had flown down,
let me carry this
David,
load
and not even
you.
realize. Yeah. Romance. That's
romance. That's romance right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know we always try to do the whole like how to adapt this into a TV show, but I unfortunately I'm gonna have to defer to the same thing that I've said for the past several books, which is just like at this point I really just have to see where the series goes to see how important some of this stuff is before I make any declarations on like how to adapt it. More so than we did when we first started, because I think when we first started it was pretty clear to see as we were establishing the world, what was going to be important, and that a lot of these things were going to end up becoming elements later. But I mean, the fact that David came back at all is enough indication to me that I'm like, all bets are off, dude. Anything could happen. I have no idea what the satisfaction of the ending could look like, let alone what it will look like, and I just cannot make any declarations. I can tell you that if I was adapting that, my instinct to adapt anything into any sort of television or anything at all, if you're to overwrite or overhaul the Animorphs series is that Crayak and the Drode are just completely useless nonsense. I think that it's just such a unwise decision to take it out of mortal hands and put it into celestial hands.
Yeah, because then it's
I
just
think
like anything can be anything, and if anything is everything, then it's nothing.
Yeah, it's the put aside the contrivances of the plot. I think thematically, the three characters that exist of the Ellimist, the Drode, and Crayak, thematically render the series inert, because as soon as you put it into any sort of celestial territory that our mortal minds cannot conceive of why they make the decisions they make, you take agency away from it, and the whole theme of, or the overarching theme of these stories is about the how war ultimately is changing these people and just corrupting them beyond belief. How fascists take over. It's all of these things that are very terrestrial in their thematic conceits, and I think that anything to do with Crayak and the Drode and the Ellimist completely render all of those things inert. Yeah. So people would be livid, I'm sure, but you would have you would have a much stronger product, I believe. So that would be my biggest push. Yeah. But if you had to do it,
put some more boundaries, more rules, more backstory. Like, what can they do? What can't they do? Yeah, we gotta have some type of rules.
There needs to be some sort of,
can't just be chaos.
Some sort of boundary. Some sort of
limitation.
The Ellimist, even the Ellimist just being present there, gives the audience some semblance of an indication that this is an allowed circumstance. And if it wasn't, then the Ellimist could come in and intercede and change the timeline again or whatever it is. But just having the Ellimist's presence there, unfortunately, is probably the most necessary thing. Just because it at least establishes that there could be rules, so that you don't have to consider what those rules might be, but you can at least, entertain the plot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if you are some sort of producer executive in charge of crafting this series, and you are allowed by Applegate's estate or otherwise to cut Crayak and the Drode entirely, I think you could still do this story and just have it be David as the conclusion of this series. I would push for a little bit of a sillier, because I think that the fun of Animorphs is the drastic space operatic juxtaposition between the comedy and the tragedy. Yep. And I think that it would be fun to just have King Rat David be the mastermind behind this whole plan. And then at the end, it's all the more tragic when King Rat David is just a rat, and then you could still have the same sort of emotionally cathartic moment.
He could give Rachel drugs, and then she could hallucinate.
Dude, he could steal billions of dollars out of banks. He can do anything. Yeah, he can give her. True. He can give her any drug. He could be the president.
Yeah, absolutely. So should we check out what the next book is, Mr. Gianni?
I guess so.
You guess so.
I guess it's time.
The Diversion.
Okay.
I like this cover. It's pretty cursed.
It's not that cursed, though. It's just kind of
I think the second
weird.
morph, if you look at the legs, I don't like that.
Yeah, the second morph has a lot of legs, and the part dog head is but I don't mind it. It kind of looks like some sort of Egyptian statue,
Fair. It could be Horus.
But yeah, I guess it's like some sort of vague visage of Jake, but
oh my
the
God.
morph.
No, it's not.
It's not Jake. It's Tobias.
Yes.
Well, they changed his hair. It's not my fucking fault.
they changed the kid like every time he's on the book.
No, it's not my fucking fault that I don't recognize the fucking kid anymore.
Every time
right?
there's a kid that's half opaque in the background, that's Tobias, because that was his human body. Even though he looks different on every Tobias cover.
Yeah, that was his human body. It's never the same human body. Whatever. But yeah, it's Tobias, I guess, going from his hawk morph into a German Shepherd.
Mm-hmm. And what's the tagline say on there?
It says, "This war can't go on forever. Will it be us or them?"
Oh my
God. The diversion.
Oh my God. What do you think it's about?
Well, I would imagine it's Tobias creating some sort of diversion for the rest of the Animorphs to get away while he sacrifices himself. He's going to sacrifice himself. To the Yeerk Empire.
Beautiful. All right. Well, let me tell you what this book is. Perhaps you will find some satisfaction in this description.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
The Yeerks are finally starting to realize that the Andalite bandits are probably not aliens at all.
They're the last to know.
They're finally starting to realize that maybe they've been dealing with humans all along.
It says that? You're not just embellishing words?
No.
Yeah, okay.
And
it says that on the plot.
No one, especially the newly appointed Visser 1, is happy with this knowledge. Yeah, no shit. Okay.
Sure.
I added that part. That wasn't in the back cover. Yeah. Just FYI.
Okay.
Not happy at all. When Tobias, the other Animorphs, and Axe realize that the Yeerks are about to find them, it's by accident. Oopsie. But that doesn't make the discovery any less serious, because in a war, one side wins and one side loses.
Uh-huh.
And that's the sirens coming to carry us away.
Oh, that's it? That's the whole...
That's the whole back cover, yes.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well... Seems interesting,
Christ.
I guess.
This episode, I've had the most sirens in my background. We had sirens at the same time at the beginning, and now I've had more sirens now. I don't know what's going on in my neighborhood today, but something's up.
Yeah,
Something's
I would like
afoot.
to tell you that this book, according to Seropedia, is written by Lisa Harkrader, who last wrote The Unexpected.
Oh, all
book
right.
44.
Sick.
Which was, I think, unanimously speaking, our least favorite book in the series.
Yes,
so,
yes, the Australia book, which was unexpected with how bad it was. It's pretty bad. So I'm
the
excited.
Royal Outback.
The Outback.
Out here at the Outback Steakhouse, we're ready to get unexpected.
Yeah, exactly. You got any boomerangs around here?
Oh my goodness gracious.
Anyway.
Well, Lisa,
I'm excited to see
you have
what
a
else.
shot at redemption here.
Yeah.
I'm very, very encouraged.
I want to see. Wasn't Lisa? Wasn't that one of the characters' names in The Room?
Yeah, you tear me apart, Lisa.
Lisa, yeah, because every time I hear the name Lisa, I just think of it in Tommy Wiseau's voice. Lisa.
Oh, you tear me apart.
You are. I am good guy. Oh, hi, Mark.
It's nothing. Don't even ask.
You're my favorite customer. Bye, doggy.
What a story, Mark.
Fantastic. What a trash film. I love it.
That's a masterpiece.
All right, folks. Well, if you want to send us any messages, if you have anything to say to us, if you have anything to divert our attention with.
Oh, boy.
That's like the diversion. You can email us at our email address, morphinbuddies@gmail.com. That's morphinbuddies at
GMAIL.
.com.
Deep fake garbage.
.com, not deep fake garbage.
AI.
Deep reelage. Deep reelage.
AI did that, not me.
I don't use AI. I've only ever used AI one time to create a fake photograph, and that's it. That's the only time I've ever used AI.
And my voice.
Never your voice. I wouldn't do that. Boy, look at your biceps be popping.
Yeah, I'm wearing my wife beater.
Yeah.
To illustrate for all you scandalous morphin buddies out there. I am in my wife beater shirt.
Wow, Gianni, you're just gonna perpetuate the violence against women by calling it a wife beater?
Perpetuate it.
Yeah.
I invented it.
I am the originator. Anyway.
All right, fine. I guess we won't talk about flat earthers on this one. We'll just
I think we had enough flat earth in the last one.
Fine. But yeah, if you haven't listened to the end of that episode,
go listen to the end of what's the episode I just released?
I don't fucking know. Okay, who could keep track of these things?
Who knows?
I forget everything I say on these podcasts the second we pressed end.
I forgot that I said Amelia Earhart is flying the fuck off to Pluto because when Just a Bird Jimmy mentioned that in his message to us, I laughed because I said I wouldn't say something that funny. I'm not that funny. And then I listened to it. Yeah. No, I did say that.
No, I mean, with time dilation, she probably is still flying. So
she's out there, folks. Keep your eyes out for Amelia. R.I.P. to a real one. Anyway, thanks so much for listening to this episode. We'll see you in the next episode of Morphin Buddies with the diversion. Ooh.
Bye.